Hello, my name is Valerie Kwong, and today I will be discussing capture myopathy in shorebirds. First of all, what exactly is capture myopathy? When an animal is captured, restrained, or transported, it is inevitably subjected to stress, which can lead to a condition known as capture myopathy. This can severely impact an affected individual's ability to survive. Why in shorebirds particularly? Birds do tend to be more widely and severely affected by capture myopathy than any other type of wildlife species. In this video, I will examine some capture, handling, and treatment techniques aimed at reducing the risk and severity of capture myopathy in shorebirds. And this brings us to technique number 1, sedating birds prior to capture. One documented technique for reducing capture-related stress was to sedate the bird using a remotely activated injection. While this method required the use of a contraption that would allow researchers to inject a sedative into a nesting bird from a distance away, the researchers in this paper observed no behavioral changes in the sedated individuals. This is a technique that aims to reduce capture myopathy before capturing an individual. Some of the pros of this technique include that it is seemingly highly effective in reducing the symptoms of capture myopathy. This reduces the handling of conscious birds, which reduces their stress. A single bird can also be sedated multiple times using the same device for recapture purposes. However, this technique has only been documented being used once, all the way in 1989. It also requires the construction of remote sedation devices. You can't avoid disturbing the bird, as you have to do this at least once to place the device in its nest, and this is unreasonable for birds that nest on dangerous terrain, such as cliffsides. I think that more research into sedative-related stress needs to be done to evaluate if this is truly effective as a way to treat capture myopathy. Another technique that is possible is holding birds in captivity. Chronic stress levels in captured and experimentally transmitted chukar remained high until about 3 to 5 days in captivity, when their stress hormone levels began to lower. By days 9 through 10, capture-induced stress was largely gone. This prolonged exposure to conditions in captivity eventually stopped stressing the birds out as much as when they were initially trapped. This is a way that we could potentially treat capture myopathy during the capture, research, and transport process. A huge part of this technique is that birds can be observed during this captivity phase and receive medical attention if necessary. This also leads to less bird mortality due to stress upon their release. This can be really important for threatened or endangered species during translocation efforts. Some cons included that the researchers who noted these patterns of reduced stress expressed concern with the experience significantly altering the bird's stress responses. This would imply that using this technique, all successfully translocated individuals would suffer from chronic stress, which may have negative effects on the translocation effort going forward. This example, which was done on chukars, was also not an example specifically regarding shorebirds, which may respond completely differently from these game birds. A third technique we could consider is rehabilitating birds after capture. Both physical therapy and drug administration post-capture and handling by wildlife professionals have been employed on shorebird species. These treatments both showed success in rehabilitating animals that showed signs of capture myopathy. This is a technique that would be used after capture and handling, but prior to releasing. Pros included that physical therapy helped birds experiencing capture myopathy regain their muscle strength. Birds given midazolam, a sedative, relaxed and struggled less during handling. Birds that were given the sedative also showed improvements in weight maintenance and survival upon release compared to control groups that were not administered medicine. Huge cons include that providing additional therapy requires additional manpower and resources, which is not always feasible. The extra manpower and resources also do not guarantee that the bird will make a full recovery or survive upon release. So what should we do moving forward? I believe that managing capture myopathy is of critical importance, as the loss of animals to this disease can be devastating for threatened and endangered species, many of which may rely on translocation or handling for continued survival. I believe that further research into reduction of capture myopathy manifestation and symptoms before, during, and after capture and handling needs to be done. Based on the results of studies I've researched, I suggest a combination of medicating birds prior to capture, closely monitoring their health while captive, and rehabilitating and/or medicating them prior to their release. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to leave your comments and questions below, and I'll do my best to answer them.